Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be talking about Disney's moderate resorts. There are 3 or 4 if you break up Port Orleans, but so we have Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, and then there's Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter. What is your favorite one?
Well, my favorite resort, for various reasons, is going to be Caribbean Beach. And the reason I say Caribbean Beach is because it is the only moderate resort that is on the Skyliner line. And it is the one resort that has its own hub. So from the Caribbean Beach Resort, you literally can pick and choose whether you want to go to Hollywood Studios or to Epcot without having to transfer from one Skyliner to the other.
It's the central hub for the Skyliner, so that makes it a lot easier. I don't know. I really like Caribbean Beach for that reason. But Port Orleans Riverside was a really neat stay, and even though we haven't stayed at French Quarter, it's a really neat resort. I don't know if I could pick a favorite of this one. Maybe we should start with Coronado, though, so that's not either one of our favorites.
What I'll say first, though, is that unlike the other resorts, the moderate resorts are very spread out. These resorts can be pretty massive. There'll be multiple stationary houses. There'll be multiple bus stops. And you can't go wrong. But I could also see how people can be overwhelmed with the sheer size, especially when you come down to Caribbean Beach. Caribbean Beach, I think, is probably the biggest one. Because of that lake that sits in the middle of it. It's just a massive resort.
Yeah, and sometimes getting off the Skyliner, you have a very long walk ahead of you, depending on where you're staying. If you're going to Centertown, to eat or even go to the pool from the Skyliner, that's a long ways. So back to Coronado. Coronado is a beautiful resort. It is very pretty. And we've stayed there a handful of times. I don't know why I dislike it so much. The rooms are beautiful too, and they're spacious. Probably the biggest, one of the biggest rooms we've ever stayed in. The bathrooms are enormous. So it's not that it's a bad place to stay. I don't like, from where we've always stayed, going all the way across the bridge to get to the pool. I feel like that's a long way there and a long way back, and walking back when you're
And that's just the main pool. That's not the other pool.
Yeah. Because it really does have a really neat pool.
The only thing about Coronado, from what I can take, is Coronado was more geared for the large conferences. Because there's a large conference area over there. And so that's kind of that's where the business meetings take place. So those rooms are perfectly formatted for executives, people who just, they're not here to go to the parks. They're just here for business and whatnot like that. So the space in the room is great. The room, the resort itself is a great resort. But it's one of those things where, like I said, once you get out of that value, resorts are very iffy when you're traveling with a family. And Coronado is not one of those resorts I would say, hey, if you've got little ones, take them to Coronado. It's just, there's not too much of a Disney type theme there.
And for me, the places to eat,
there's not a lot.
Nope, there's not much to choose from, and I feel like the hours are, I've always felt like the hour, we've gone a couple times and thought, I wonder if there's anything to eat, and then they're not even open. I don't know if that was COVID or what happened, but I think
Coronado just has somewhat of a bad reputation for a lot of things when it comes to people who visit Disney quite frequently, and the food court is probably the number one pet peeve for a lot of people.
But again, if you're looking for room in your room, it is very big. The bathrooms are I just can't say enough about it. It was very spacious.
It's definitely a traditional. It's definitely not a traditional. It's definitely a transition stay. So if you already have a longer stay booked at a different resort, but you need that extra 2 days, then Coronado is definitely a filler. But for someone to stay a week at Coronado, for me, I just couldn't do it with the kids that we have and everything.
I felt very secluded.
Yes, because again, just like with the other video we talked about All Stars being quite far away,
Mm-hmm.
Coronado kind of is right there.
It's right.
That.
It's
like
very near
very
them.
far from a lot. It's closest to the backside of Animal Kingdom, but that's about it. You're
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be about 10-15 minutes from Magic Kingdom, which that doesn't sound like a long time, but if you're using Disney transportation, that is an eternity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the farthest away from all the parks, so that's kind of like a big thing why I don't really prefer Coronado.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think you like better, Riverside or French Quarter?
Other than that, I mean, like I've been to New Orleans many, many years ago, so I love French Quarter because it has a different feel than any resort that I've stayed at. Like the entire resort looks like you're in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. It really does.
Like there's brick paved streets that it's like actual streets that you're just walking down, and the theming for that is just unbelievable. And then right next door to that is Port Orleans Riverside, which is a different look of Louisiana. It's like this is now you gone from French Quarter to now you're out there in the plantation homes of Louisiana, and also a great resort in itself as well.
Yeah, I've never been to New Orleans, so I don't know. But I will say that many years ago, when I worked as a travel agent in Missouri, I went to Disney and did some training. And one of the resorts that we toured was French Quarter. And I remember thinking, this resort is not for me. These masks that they have and all of this stuff, it was just not for me. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. But now, years later, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. And to just go and walk either one of those resorts, it's just beautiful. Their buildings are gorgeous, and the theming, just everything. I think it's beautiful over there.
And now, and the big plus to the moderate resorts, other than Coronado, is that they do actually have good food courts. I've always found pretty good meals when we eat at one of our moderates, especially Caribbean Beach. Caribbean Beach, I always get the fish tacos. I don't know why.
Yeah, their fish tacos are great.
I don't even like fish tacos, but for some reason I don't get them at Caribbean Beach, and they're always good. So
they have a lot to offer over there. They also have their gift shop named Calypso.
Yes.
Calypso's
Trading Post.
Trading Post, that's it. Yeah. So she got a tiara and everything over there one day when they found out her name was Calypso.
Yeah, it was actually because we were over there. It was actually her birthday. Around her birthday,
we went so she probably had her button on.
Beach, and obviously, you tell someone that our daughter's name is Calypso, and they're just like, "Oh, that's a beautiful name." And then, of course, she tells someone who works at the Calypso Trading Post, and there was a whole spectacle of, they gave her a toy, they gave her
a tiara,
and then of course Titan's there too, so he got something.
She got a pin. Return. She got a pin.
Yeah, it was like a rare pin.
Yes.
A pin from the opening day or something like that.
Yeah, and then they let Titan pick something out, and he got a pirate necklace with his little wheel on it. So that was fun. So now every time we're on the Skyliner and go by Caribbean Beach, she says that's her resort.
Yep.
Even though she was born at Pop,
right.
She considers Caribbean Beach her resort. So, but that's also special too. Not to keep throwing these things in, but our son learned to walk.
Yeah.
At Caribbean.
Yeah. At the pool.
At the pool. The weekend before his birthday, which was I think it was Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Easter, something like that. We had friends down, and they were staying at Caribbean Beach, so we went over to see them, and then we were in the pool, and yeah, sure enough, he took
the kiddie pool.
Yeah, took his first steps there. So yeah, that's fun. What's left?
That's it. We covered all four. So it's really funny too, because a lot of people I consider Old Key West is another resort that kind of has that same feel as a moderate, but I'm pretty sure it's seen as
it's considered a deluxe.
Considered as a deluxe resort, but same setup, same.
Yeah,
it's right next to Port Orleans too. That's why I always found it weird that it's a deluxe, even though it's set up like a.
It's very
moderate,
beautiful. A very beautiful resort.
Yeah, it's a very spacious resort. It's the original Vacation Club
DVC,
resort. So.
Yeah, that's really nice. All right, anything else we're going to talk about for moderates?
Nope, that's it for moderates.
All
it's
right.
Very short. Four moderate resorts.
Yeah, so, all right, well, join us on the next video. We're going to be discussing all things deluxe resorts. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.